Jacksonville Jaguars fans, welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLuga. Thanks so much for being here. Saturday, November 29th. Small Business Saturday. That's right. We've got deals. Check out our socials for the info on the upcoming deals. Really 40% off on GenJag.com. Code Duval, DUUUVAL. Help support our channel, help support our small business. Really appreciate y'all. But that's not why you're here. You're here for bold predictions, and we've got them. Jaguars at Titans, a game that will, if the Jaguars win, get them one step closer to having a showdown with the Colts in Jacksonville next weekend for the division lead. Jaguars versus Titans in Nashville. Jags looking to get to 8-4. Titans looking to get their second win of the season. We're going to get into it right here, right now. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. So, starting off with the Titans, Jeffrey Simmons, a sack and a half. The Jags, for all that they do have, they've got some injuries on the interior of the offensive line right now. Patrick McCary not going to go in this game. Chuma Edoga not going to go in this game. Those two, when on the field, haven't been the most consistent players for the Jaguars this year, but they have been pretty good in the run game overall, and they haven't been complete liabilities in pass protection. They both have been heavily penalized, but the plan, you're going to have to roll with some, maybe Cole Van Lannon, maybe you're going to see some Wyatt Milam, some different things. We'll see, but I think that Jeffrey Simmons, even if those guys were healthy, is going to have a big game. That's just kind of what he's been doing this year. He's one of the best interior defensive linemen in the game, and he's going to have an impact. So that's where we're at with that one. I've got Chimere Dike, the University of Florida receiver, with a receiving and return touchdown. DK is an unbelievable returner, an unbelievable speedster. I think that the Titans are going to find a way to get him in the end zone. I've got him scoring twice. And he's just the type of receiver that if the Jaguars have just one little hiccup on coverage or on defense, he can be off to the races. And so I've got that happening a couple times. Gunnar Helm. I've got him with over 60 receiving yards and a touchdown for the Titans in this game. Chigo Okonkwo is questionable, so I went with the rookie, who has been featured a little bit more lately at the tight end spot. And look, the Jaguars, this is pretty simple. They've just struggled with the tight end position throughout this year, throughout many years. So I don't think giving a tight end 60 yards and a touchdown is all that bold, but that's what we're doing here. And then that leads to Cam Ward, Titans number 1 overall pick. Talented player. He's coming off a pretty good game against the Seattle Seahawks. I've got him with over 200 yards, and as I mentioned, DK scoring a receiving touchdown, Gunnar Helm getting a touchdown. That's 2 touchdowns for the Titans right there. So I've got him scoring twice, getting over 200 yards passing, having a day on paper that looks pretty good. Doesn't matter. Does not matter in this one. The Jaguars, they have been improving in the turnover department, in the penalty department. They have been forcing some turnovers lately. They were certainly not on the right side of the turnover battle last week, but they did get a big dub anyways. But no, they've been cleaning things up a little bit. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence threw too many interceptions last week, but penalties haven't been as big of an issue. The drops haven't been as critical, and your most reliable receivers have been catching the football. So I think the Jaguars, they lean on the ground game big in this one. I think that they run the ball a ton to the tune of over 150 yards on the ground. I think you see 2 rushing touchdowns from the Jaguars. I've got it with Bashal and Trevor just because Travis Etienne kind of had his turn getting in the end zone last week. So I've got Bashal getting a touchdown this week. And I've got Trevor Lawrence scoring a touchdown, rushing, and then Jacoby Myers and Britton Strange both catching touchdown passes. They've been so good for the Jaguars this year, both of those guys. So I just don't really see the Titans having an excellent defensive plan outside of, let Jeffrey Simmons do work. I don't see a whole lot from their defense right now. I don't see a real identity. So I think that the Jaguars offense will be able to run the ball, and I think that that's going to help them get everything else going as well. I think you'll see some play action. I think you'll see 12 personnel, some 11. They'll be mixing it up enough to keep the Titans off balance, and they'll have 4 scores on offense, which, that's a pretty big deal. And 150 yards on the ground. Jags are averaging over 130. Titans giving up over 130. That just feels like a recipe for a really big rushing day for the Jaguars in this one. And that's exactly what they need to be able to do over the next 6 games, is run the football and control the clock. That kind of eliminates some of the variance that you can see week to week, game to game from some teams, including the Jaguars, who have been highly volatile in their performances. They've been able to beat some really good teams. They've lost to some teams they had no business losing to. I don't think that's going to continue this week. I think you're going to have another week that starts to get that confidence building that you're not going to beat yourself as much. Josh Hines-Allen, I think he continues his run of sacks. I know a lot of Jags fans still are not happy with the way he's performing, but you look at what he's done over the last month since the bye. He has 3.5 sacks over the last 4 games. He's been one of the biggest pressure guys in football during that stretch. He's impacting the game really positively. He historically has big games against the Titans. He knows the importance of this rivalry, and I think he also just has been able to take advantage of not the best tackle play ever in Tennessee, and I think you'll see that again in this one. He's going to play well. He's going to get himself a sack and continue that run, and I think by the time you look up at the end of the season, you might be like, oh, Josh Hines-Allen, he had a good season. Wow. Shocker. Interception-wise, I do have the Jaguars picking off Cam Ward a couple times. Didn't mention that one earlier, but had to build some suspense a little bit there. Jordan Lewis, I have getting an interception. He's going to be returning to the lineup for the Jaguars. I've never seen a player so early in this season and in training camp, preseason, I've never seen a player show so much ability to go get the football and take it away. I think a fully healthy Jordan Lewis is going to help the Jaguars do that in this game. I think he's going to get one of those really impressive interceptions where he either baits the quarterback or dives for a football, something of that nature. You've just seen it too much from him. I'm excited to see him back out on the field, even though Jarian Jones has been playing well. I've also got an interception from the safety spot. I'm going with Antonio Johnson. He's been playing at an extremely high level. Eric Murray's not quite ready to return. So that's where I'm going with that. But basically, I think the Jaguars can get 2 on him, on Cam. I think that this defense can present enough wrinkles and issues to force a couple Cam Ward turnovers. And then you look at the final score. I've got the Jaguars winning this one 31-17 over the Titans. The Titans, they do a little bit on offense. They move the ball at times. As I mentioned, Cam Ward scores a couple, but they turn it over too much. They don't have enough consistency, and they don't force a lot of turnovers on the defensive side of the ball. The Jaguars might turn it over, but it's not going to have a huge impact. Jaguars win, as I mentioned, 31-17. Actually, I misspoke on that one. It's 31-21. I have the Titans scoring 3 times. It's DK as a returner, it's DK as a receiver, and Gunnar Helm as a receiver. 31-21. Jaguars still win by double digits and move on comfortably. The Jaguars, they've been scoring over 30 points per game over the last 4 weeks since the bye. They've been really I shouldn't say they've been in cruise control. That is not true. They've been a little volatile drive to drive, but they've been scoring a lot. And that's, I don't think, going to change here. 31-17 for the Jaguars over the Titans in a big rivalry game to get to 8-4 and to set up a huge matchup against the Colts for the division lead next week in Jacksonville. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.